Okay. So to recall, yesterday we are discussing and we are seeing only the design of experiments part alone, the practical approach with using an example of preparing a popcorn. And we have used a simple factorial design 2 to the power of 3 factors at 2 levels. And we didn't say anything about this response surface methodology because this itself is a very big task to understand what exactly the design of experiments is. So we have seen 3 types of factors which influence 2 types of responses, or 3 types of critical meter attributes or process parameters which will influence the critical quality attributes. So we have got 8 experiments and we have collected the responses for the taste and bullets as well. And we have seen the overall effect of each factor on the individual responses. Overall effect based upon the formula sum of plus minus sum of minus. So we found to know that A doesn't have any more influence on the taste, whereas B, the time and power which are using more means there is a negatively impacting the taste. Similarly, we have also seen the interaction terms AB, AC, BC and ABC, and also we have seen the overall interaction of these terms on the taste using the same formula once again. And we have found that AB doesn't have an interaction, AC also doesn't have an interaction, ABC also doesn't have any much interaction. The main interaction is about B and C. So out of 7 effects, AB, AC and whatever from 1 to 7, we have segregated into significant and non-significant factors based upon the statistical tool called half normality plot, right? So from this we have got B, C and BC are the significant terms which is influencing the taste, but other terms are not influencing the taste as they are passing through the line, others are not passing through the line. And the further steps we have taken only these terms to study further. Similarly, from this chart of normality plot, we have also seen the Pareto charts which says that only 20% of the factors will be responsible for the 80% of the results, whereas the rest of the factors will not influencing the results. Now come to today, the next one is polynomial equation. So basically what is the meaning of polynomial equation is, it says about the response Y is influenced by what times the factors. For our understanding, I'll plot a graph here. Let us say I have a graph. This is x-axis. This is the y-axis, right? So I want to express what is my x, how much times my x is influencing my y. Usually if you see, if you take as usual the calibration curve which you are doing for UV, as your concentration is increases, the response also increases. So how we are expressing in the terms of equation y is equal to mx sorry I couldn't able to write properly, y is equal to mx plus c. This is y. Right. So the response y, that is this one, the response here depends upon the concentration of x, how many times the x is increasing exponentially, accordingly the response is going to be changed. Also the intercept, plus or minus intercept, this is what, right? So once again this polynomial equation also depends like this. Now the y is here nothing but taste, we are seeing one response first. See, dy will go like one by one. Now you are going to see only about the taste, then next dy will start once again for the bullets. So the taste depends upon B, C, BC. That is what we have seen the significant factors. Now rest of the thing we have avoided. Rest of the things we don't want to bother because as per the half normality plot, we got it. The rest of the things are not influencing much the taste. So y is equal to m. This is the m for B, because try to understand this graph is like this. Just I will erase this. I'm just plotting the graph for this equation. Taste depends upon factor B. How many times? Minus, that means it will come here, minus 10.25 times. Similarly, C minus 8.5 times. C. Similarly, the interaction BC, once again minus something. So this is how simple it is. What is the meaning of polynomial equation is, you could see here they have also written polynomial equation y is equal to the response is equal to the intercept and how many times or how much the x, the factor which was taken, is influencing the y. So here we don't have one, we have three factors. One is B, one is C, one is BC. We are writing all by, see, that means by looking the equation one can be able to say out of the three factors maybe BC is having more influence on taste negatively, then followed by B, then followed by C. So usually this equation doesn't have any more importance in the statistical things. It looks from the, instead of graphical representation, you can able to see in the equation format with the intercept whatever we are looking here with the calculations. So that is nothing but polynomial equation. Usually in polynomial equation, the effect will be divided by 2. We don't know exactly what is the reason, but usually the effect will be divided by 2. They says here the coded value units because we have minus and plus. For each and every B having minus and plus, C also having minus and plus. Since two values are there, they are dividing by 2. Or else usually they will not divide by 2. They will usually any y is equal to mx plus equation they will write as such. So that is the meaning of polynomial equation. So similarly, let's apply this same procedure to do the second response, that is nothing but bullets. So we have finished with test. We come to the conclusion. What is the test? Then we are starting with the bullets. So bullets also same thing. I'm not going to explain fully. So once again, coded values, they collect the test y2 by weighing the how many grams of how many ounces of bullets they have collected, and they also find out for each what is the overall effect. They have got it, and they have made into an ascending order like what we did before for Clarivate half normality plot, and they have got once again in a shocking manner. You can see B, C and BC only once again are the culprits which is significantly influencing the bullets also, like how it is influenced the taste. So this is completely talks about bullets. We finished the test. So this in this bullets case also only B, C and BC are the main influencing things. So once again the Pareto charts followed by, that's about the bullets. So if you see the conclusion, what it says is the effect of B, C and BC are very big related to the other factors. So they obviously do not fall on the line. In a statistical sense, each of these factors are, we can consider as per the statistics significant. So here onwards, the focus should be only on B, C and BC rather than A or any other interactions. So this is one special case to consider. We are saying BC having interaction. They have explained here what is the interaction here through the means of graphs. So let us look into these graphs. Okay. So what it says is, now we have isolated A. We don't want A because A doesn't have any influence. So with B and C, we will get 8 runs. That is nothing but 2 to the power 2. Now we are having 2 levels, 2 factors B and C at 2 levels, minus and plus. So 2 to the power 2 will give you 4 runs. 2 to the power 2 will give 4 runs. So you can see all the 4 runs here, right? So 2 minus, 2 plus, plus minus, minus plus. And these responses, whatever we have already collected before for this kind of experiments, which is already there before. And these are the responses for the bullets. See, this data is not new. Don't confuse it with something different experiments. We have just isolated A. The remaining experiments I have written here. The responses, whatever we have got it before, the same responses here for this respective experiments. Now let us see what is the meaning of interaction. We already saw BC having interaction, what it is. That means you see this graph, same x-axis versus y-axis. This is x-axis, This is y-axis. This is the taste. Am I right? Here the y is the taste. Here it is a bullets. So since we are done now, it will go parallel both bullets and taste here onwards. Now what says is when B is at minus level and C is at minus level, that means B is at minus level, C is at minus level, right? B is at minus level and C is at minus level. When you're increasing B minus to plus lower concentration to higher concentration, when increasing B to minus to higher concentration, there is no change in the taste. That means there is no interaction. When you're increasing the B concentration by keeping C constant, you can see the graph is very constant. That means B is not interacting with the C taste. But whereas once again, B when you keep it minus and when increasing to plus and C is at highest level, C is at highest level, C plus and C plus, you can see there is a drastic reduction in the response, that is taste. That's what the interaction is. See, B is at plus level, C is at plus level, it says BC, that's what we said, we have seen before also, BC having interaction which is minus 10 times negative. That's why you can see the taste is reducing drastically because B and C also interacting with each other to reduce the taste drastically. That is called interaction. Similarly, they says here, you can see B minus and B plus, right? The same experiment. The only thing we are just seeing bullets, nothing else. So once again, B minus, B plus. So B minus, B minus, B plus. So C plus, C plus, there is no drastic difference. Whereas B at minus and B also minus, when you're increasing B to plus and C while keeping C at minus level, once again you can see there is a drastic reduction in the number of bullets formed. So there is a little interaction between B and C. But once again, then the statistical point of view, there is no much influence or use of these graphs to say. It is for just representation to the audience how the interaction you are saying, because already we said B is C having interaction, and what sense how we can show in a graphical manner is using these values. So before going to the final conclusion or the final conclusion of DOA, there are few things to be done is you have to confirm whatever we got. Let us say you are saying significant factors are B, C and BC. Somebody ask a question, is only half normality plot is enough to come to a conclusion that yes, it is a significant factors, or any other thesis there? If we take in the entire statistical approach, the main thing when we are saying a term called significant, the ultimate factor to be applied is ANOVA, the P value, the F value, analysis of variance. ANOVA stands for analysis of variance. That means the differences between the two batches or two reports or the two groups, what is the significant level is going to be told by the statistical approach called ANOVA. We have to apply the analysis of variance to find out whether they're significant or not. So how to do that? The formula is, please look into this slide to the next slide. It involves a lot of calculations. You don't confuse. If you have any doubt after this under the presentation, you can ask. So in order to start the ANOVA studies, first you should calculate the sum of squares. The sum of squares formula is the number of actual runs and the number of runs after screening the significant factors. You know the number of before runs is 8 because we had 2 to the power 3 factorial design. But after screening, we got 4. That means we consider only B and C. 2 to the power 2 we go 4. So 8 by 4 into effect square. Effect is nothing but BC and BC square. So let us say I want to calculate sum of square for B. So total number of runs is 8. The after screening is 4. You could remember the B effect, overall effect is minus 20 times. So square, effect square, you will get 80.840.5. Similarly, if you want to calculate the sum of square for a model, the model is nothing but the model consists of significant terms B, C, BC. They have also calculated like how we calculated here and how the value we got it here. They also calculated for the C and BC, and overall for the model they got 2343 as the value. And residues, what are the left remaining is called residues. What is the left remaining out of 7? A, AB, AC, and ABC. So similarly, they have applied the sum of squares for the same formula. The sum of squares of all these things. And they got residue 99 and they got model 2343. So let us see the calculations, how to calculate the p-value. So this is a table. You could look into this. So the sum of squares of the model is 2343. The sum of square for the residue is 99. And this we already got individually B, C and BC separately here. Yes, sir. B, C, BC. That values only they have written here. Right. So the degrees of freedom is nothing but n-1. We already know this. But here, each effect is based upon average of two levels. One is minus and plus. So it contributes 1 degree of freedom. That is nothing but n-1. Right. 2 minus 1 is 1. So it contributes 1. That means as such we can take, see in model, if it is 3 factors has been involved, 3 significant factors, that's why it is 3. In case of residues remaining 7 minus 3, 4. So this is the case. But in the case of here, B, C are the single terms, each factor is involved. That's why we are writing 1, 1, 1. So that is the degrees of freedom. Then mean square is sum of square of model divided by degrees of freedom. That means this value divided by 3, this value divided by 3, and this value divided by 1, 1, 1, because degrees of freedom is 1. So you'll got as such the values. Remaining by 3, 781.0, by 4 it is 24.8. Now F value is mean square of the model. What is the mean square of the model? 781.1 divided by the mean square of the residue. This is the mean square of the residue. So 781.0 divided by 24.8, you will get 31.5. Here a case, sum of square is once again 781.0 and sum of square of the residue is 840.5, that is 34. Similarly this and so on, you will get 34.1, 34, 23.3 and 37.3. Right. So these are the F values one could require to calculate the probability value. So now, so based upon the values which you got here, every calculation of this p-value have given a reference tables like this in every book. So this table is for the 1% confidence intervals, that is 99% confidence intervals. 1% is 99%. The remaining 1%, this is talks about it. That is nothing but we are talking about the p-value. This is about the p-value. This is about the confidence intervals. Or we will write like 0.001, something like that. Similarly, this table is for I kept one table. There is another table. There are two, three tables. One is at 1% confidence, one is at 0.1% confidence, another is 5%. This is nothing but p-value less than 0.05, 0.01, and 0.001. If you could recall back the basic statistics when you're discussing about Debye chapter, I have said what is confidence intervals and the p-value correlation. So if you could see, the degrees of freedom of numerator is 3 and the degrees of freedom residual is 4. You could recall back 3 divided by 4. Then we have to look into this table at this column, exactly where it is coinciding. This value is 16.693. So out of this, nobody is falling below 16.693, right? So it says that all these factors, since this table is talking about 0.01, 0.01 confidence interval, 1% is nothing but 0.01 confidence intervals. We can say 99% we are having confident that the B, the C and BC interactions will significantly influence the response, That is the meaning of this probability value. Yes, any doubts you can ask. See, the last slide is very messy. Please try to understand there are 3 steps. One is mean square, you have to calculate degrees of freedom. Then sum of square, degrees of freedom, then mean squares followed by the F value. All will go step by step. You have to remember only the formulas. From the final F value, there is a standard distribution table. F distribution table will be there for any kind of population. From there, you can able to calculate whether it is significant or not. Let us say I have got a value Here you got 16. Let us say I got some 35, 34. It doesn't mean that it's not significant. Next you go to list. Next you have to go to 5% table. There you find out that numerator by denominator 3 by 4 where it is coinciding. You see at least there the values are less than 16 or not. Then you can understand that. Any doubts?